Okay, here's your bell ringer. Well done. Very nice. Now, how many would have chosen completing the square instead of quadratic formula? Okay, I think all right, so you've got your directions on how to do this. You don't have to follow those right now because I will help you with that here. That's for when you get home. If you look at your fitting functions sheet, I want to look at number 1. Number 1 says participants are being eliminated every 10 minutes from a gaming competition. The data is shown in the chart at the right. Which type of regression model will be the best fit for this data, and write the equation of your regression model. A regression model, there are various types on your calculator. You've learned a linear regression based on your scatter plot. First, I'm going to show you how to make a scatter plot. Have we done that this year? No. And then I'm going to show you how to do your regressions. So are you ready? First thing you want to do is make sure all your calculators are correctly calibrated. So would you please press second 0. This gives you the catalog of everything that's in your calculator. I'd like you to press the letter D. It's just green. And it takes you down to all the D's. The D is right here. With me? Okay. I want you to arrow down to diagnostics on. Make sure your little triangle's next to diagnostic on. Press enter twice. It should say done. Beautiful.
No. I said syntax error.
How many times did you press it?
Then I want you to go stat, enter. More than twice. So now you're going to stat, enter. You're going to take the data in your chart and put your time in your list 1. So time goes by 10. So it's 10. What's next? 20. Keep going. 30. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Good.
72.
So that's where you stop. Arrow over to the right. And people left playing is going to go in list 2. So I've got 48. 24. It's very important that your X column matches the same number of items in your L2 column, your Y column. So I check to make sure I got a perfect match. Any questions right now? Super. Second Y equals, please. Second Y equals. We're going to do data, so we've got to turn our statistical plots on. Remember we went here for our box and whisker? This time we're not doing box and whisker, we're going to do a scatter plot. So we're going to press enter for plot 1. We're going to press enter to turn it on. And I want you to arrow down to the very first type, which is your scatter plot. You can see how they're scattered about. Press enter. Arrow down. List 1 X's are list 1. I have in my Y list 4. I don't want that. I need list 2 there. So second number 2. Good. Please make the mark the first one if yours is not marked like that. I like it open. Good zoom height. Okay, so we have our plot 1 on. We've got a scatter plot. X list is list 1. Y list is list 2. Always, always, always. What zoom do we press for stat? Zoom 9. You should have a nice scatter plot. Do you?
Yeah.
Yay! That looks great. Does it look like it's a line?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Very good.
Looks like a curve to me. I don't think that's a line. Do you see a curve?
Yeah.
I see a curve too. Is your curve increasing or decreasing?
Decreasing.
Decreasing. So now that kind of gives us a clue on to what type of a regression we're going to have. That clearly is not a line. So we're not going to push a linear regression. The question is, how do you figure out which regression to use? A lot of times it's guess and check. Here's how you do it. Press stat. Arrow over to calc. Remember here we usually go to one variable statistics to find our sample what? Standard deviation and our Population and our mean. Nice. Now, if you come down here, number 4 is your linear regression. Instead of mx plus b, instead of m, what do they use?
A.
Just be careful of that. So we know it's not a linear regression. It's not going to be a quadratic because we're not going down and back up. You don't know cubics. You don't know quartics. Arrow down. That's a different form of a linear regression. Do not use 8 ever. You don't know what ln is. That's a natural log. So chances are you're not going to do that one. Oh, what might that be? Exponential. You're familiar with exponential functions, right?
Sure.
So I'm going to say that this might be the best choice.
The next one's power.
Oh, but the next one's power. So there might be another one. And that's what we're going to do is we're going to compare. So let me show you. Go to number 0, exponential. Press enter twice. Look at what the calculator gives you. The calculator will say to you, hey student, here's the general equation for an exponential function. Y equals a times b to the x power. You've seen that. Guess what? Here's your a value. Here's your b value. And then you're like, what the heck are these R
I don't
things?
have those.
You didn't turn your diagnostics on then correctly. So go back to second 0, D, diagnostics on twice. Let me explain to you what these R means. This R is vital. It's a question on the Regents exam all the time. It stands for correlation, write this down, coefficient. R, not R squared. R is your correlation coefficient. R has to be between a positive 1 and a negative 1. If your R value is a positive 1, your scatter plot is moving in a positive direction. It's a perfect fit. 1 is a score. It's a perfect fit. R regression is moving in a negative direction. Didn't we agree to that? It was going down?
Sure.
So R value should be close to negative 1. Is negative 0.99 close to negative 1?
Yeah.
It surely is. This is a very nice fit. So now the question is the exponential, which has an R value of negative 0.9955, better than a power? Yeah, I don't know. So what do we have to do?
What does it sound?
We got to find out the power. So let's trash this stuff so it's out of the way. So where do we go to get to our power?
Okay.
No, not graph.
Yes, it's better. Stack.
Stat.
Calc.
Calc.
And
And we want which one this time?
power.
Power, which is A. Enter how many times?
Twice.
Which is the better fit?
Exponential.
Exponential, because a power has a negative 0.94, but our exponential has a negative 0.99. Agreed? Okay, so I gotta go back to that one because I didn't write anything down. So I'm gonna go back. Exponential, enter, enter. Now, on your calculator, it says, on your paper, it says, which type of regression model will be the best fit in this data? What are you going to write? Exponential is correct. Part B says what? Great. Write the equation of this regression. Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write out the general form, which is y equals a times b to the x power. Does it ask you to round at all?
Near some. Yeah.
Okay, so nearest hundredth, that means you're going to sub in for A and B to the nearest hundredth. Jonathan, nearest hundredth for A, what are we using?
1.26.
Thank you. And then Tanner for B, nearest hundredth.
Mine's off.
Okay, use mine, and then I'll help you.
Point, no, that'd be 1.
Hundredth. Okay, so remember when you're rounding, nearest hundredth, 9 is in the tenths, 2 is in the hundredths, the 7 tells you to do what with the 2?
Make it a 3.
Make it a 3, so 0.93 to the x power. That will get you credit on your Regents exam. So has everyone put number 2 in their calculator?
Yeah.
The data?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, Dan's got a job.
Definitely.
Okay. So you put your data in, you go to second y equals, what does it look like?
Linear.
It looks like a linear, it does look like a line, doesn't it?
It
Is it increasing or decreasing?
increases.
Increasing, so is your R value going to be positive or negative?
Well,
It should be positive. When you do your stat calc, which choice did you use for your line?
Linear.
4, because I told you never use 8. When you did that, what was your R value? 1, which means it's a what? Perfect fit. So what was your, so this is a linear regression, which even the calculator says AX plus B. What was your A value? 2. And what was your B value?
0.
Question, what is the y-intercept? What is the slope? Perfect.
Is it actually equal to 0?
yeah.
You can put the 0 if you want, but I wouldn't. So yes, we can now take a peek at B. 2 data sets are being compared. The data is shown in the chart at the right. Which type of regression model is going to fit this data and write that regression model. So he went through into stat, calc. He noticed he had symmetry in the chart. He's confident it's a quadratic equation, which is a parabola. So he writes down it's a quadratic regression. The formula that the calculator gives you is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. I would write down the equation that the calculator gives to you. And then I would substitute in your a values, your b values, and your c values. So he's got 1x squared, the one is optional, minus 8x plus 18. Now notice, what does the calculator give you for r?
R squared.
It gives you r squared. How would you be able to get r?
Squared.
Take the square root. What's the square root of what? 1. Perfect fit. Nice job. That's it, correct? Yeah. There's nothing on the back?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to give you your homework right now that you may do with your partner. And it's more practice on fitting functions. You also have that worksheet on how to do this if you forget over the weekend. Please
Technically it is, Nathan.
Please remember that your take-home test is due Wednesday.